everyone, Camilla here from Decodable Readers Australia. Today I'm going to answer a very common question. Now this question comes through the emails, through phone calls, and it's very common because many schools are just embarking on their synthetic phonics approach to teaching reading, and they've just seen the value of decodables. However, in their classrooms and their libraries, they have many shelves and boxes full of leveled readers. So the question I get is, how do I align my decodable readers, my new decodable readers, with all of these leveled readers that I have in the classroom? And the simple answer is, you can't. And you shouldn't. The reason is that these two types of text have been written for two completely different approaches and methodologies. And that's why you need to make the commitment to go towards the decodable readers, because we know that that's going to support your students the best. So to really get our heads around this concept, let's have a look at the two types of readers and why they are so different. The first type of text that we're going to have a look at are our leveled readers. They're our traditional leveled readers, and especially in the first phase of learning, often use pattern and repetition. Now, these are called predictable texts because students have to predict what the words are going to say based on the picture clues and that pattern or repetition. Now, often the words in these books are too difficult to decode because students haven't learnt those letter sound correspondences, so they require other skills to work out what the words say. Now, this type of guessing the words, although it's a smart guess, is an ineffective way of teaching reading. Now, also with our leveled text are a high majority of what we used to call sight words. These are high frequency words, and these words often come with complex spellings that the students haven't been explicitly taught yet. When we really get our heads around the research and understand how the brain best learns to read, we start to discover for ourselves that these traditional leveled texts are not the methodology that's going to be the most effective for our students. Now, although some students may still pick up the skills of reading, the majority, and more importantly, our students that are vulnerable and at risk, will not be able to learn using these types of texts. So it's really important that we use something that's going to cater for all of our students, and that's where decodable readers come in. Decodable readers use controlled text. What that means is there is a sequential introduction of letters and sounds, starting at the most common consonants and short vowels and moving up in complexity. There's usually levels or phases of learning that involve a skill set of sounds. Once we've explicitly taught those letter sound correspondences, there's lots of practice using that. It's called a mastery approach. And decodable readers, like the ones here at Decodable Readers Australia, use this particular methodology. And we know that this type of methodology is the best to support those students, including your most vulnerable. You can see here a sample of a decodable reader. This reader is from our Level 2 series, and this book is called Stunt. Now, in Level 2, we use our Level 1 sounds, which are our sat-pin sounds, and then also our Level 2 sound set. And you can see there we've got d, g, o, k. Now, k is spelt three ways by the letter C, the letter K, and CK, which are explicitly taught, as well as our sounds e, a, and Now, within the text, those words will use those letter sound correspondences. You won't find any other letter sound correspondences other than in a very few amount of high frequency words, or sight words as we call them. Now, decodable readers use a very small amount of sight words. The reason for this is that we need to make sure that the sentence is grammatically correct as well. What's really great about the series here at Decodable Readers Australia is that these decodable readers also have lovable characters and storylines. Now, this is really important for someone learning to read because sometimes decodable readers have a bad name because they can be nonsensical and boring. So it's really important when you go on that journey to look for the right decodable readers that are 100% decodables. Now that's including those sight words that have been explicitly taught. And as you can see from the samples on your screen, the book should be appealing and enjoyable with a wonderful storyline as we've created here at Decodable Readers Australia. Our students love getting to know our Australian animal characters and going on all sorts of adventures around Australia and interacting in positive ways. As you can see, decodable readers are extremely important in that early phase of learning to read. It's a resource that allows all students, including your at-risk and vulnerable students, to practice and retrieve those letter sound correspondences at word and sentence level using controlled text. Now, I know it's difficult to get rid of those traditional level texts, but these types of texts are detrimental to some of your students and their process in learning to read. So I highly encourage all schools to really invest in decodable readers because we know that this resource is going to be the best to allow that success for students learning to read. Now, next week we have an exciting guest, a professional in her field that's going to come and talk to us about her reasoning and her opinion of why we should make that investment into decodable readers. So join me next week.